right in. The store is open. Are you interested in a new and exciting book? It's a bookstore, sir. We sell books, postcards, and some board games. It's called Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Fate.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold.
That is a book. They have stories inside them. It's like someone told you a story in a really long letter. My pleasure. Anything else you'd like to know? Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any questions you have. I hope they're about books. My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside, minding the register, or organising this. Feel free to step in and browse our wares. I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise, people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime.
A sudden gush of wind turns the pages of the books on the counters. She covers.
Kind of you to offer, sir.
What could you do to help her anyway?
Oh, no, sir. I'm happy to help Mum by luring in customers. Besides, I have some hot juice in my vacuum bottle to keep warm. I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running. Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get ahead in life. You succeed. Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first. There's talk about this house being cursed.
Behind her, the window has been boarded up. You sense the boards creaking, twisting for a second, and some kind of doubt in her tense shoulders.
Cursed in the way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. That they all go... I wouldn't really say it like that, but I guess so.
We can go into the bookstore and ask about the case, but I don't see much more.
Yes, please do look at our wares inside. The postcards and board games you asked about are also there, sir.
It does not manifest itself in any way. It does not exist. I liked it better when we know such thing.
Anything else you wanted to talk about, sir? Nothing really, sir. Mum doesn't allow me to sneak around in the back rooms or the cellar. I don't really know what's there. Maybe I can tell you about some of our books instead. Crime fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a policeman or a private detective. And it's kind of like a puzzle too. You don't look much like a policeman. Didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen. Head? Yeah.
No, it's your soul. Your blue soul. No, your resilience.
I'm not sure I understand. If you say so, sir. He's just a fictional character. He's no... Maybe you can show me some real police work, sir. Like in the books. No, sir, I can't. It would be too tiring to refrain from it. It's already tiring enough to remember to say it all the time. It's nice of you to say I could stop, though. By your command.
The girl keeps her hands folded, hidden.
What do you mean, sir?
She knows where this is going. She looks around anxiously. Her hands remain folded. The lieutenant stands by, looking at the two of you with little interest. A facade of true professionalism. He is far more intrigued by the situation than his poise reveals. She brings out her reddened hands, her nails frayed.
And you knew this from me keeping my hands folded? Well, that proves nothing. Anyone could do an easy deduction.
She actually is impressed. This is more like a defensive reflex. She nods, half provocative, half enthusiastic.
Maybe so, sir. Okay, I know it's a bad habit, and I shouldn't. It was okay, sir.
There's more that can be achieved here. Ask her to do the same.
You're quite sober.
The lieutenant does not flinch at the comment. He does not flinch even a single bit. He is intensely not flinching. It takes effort.
Because you usually aren't. I sure hope you are, sir.
There she stands, swaying on her feet, assaulted by the early spring breeze. She smiles at you. The whole situation suddenly feels familiar, somehow. Because you know each other. She's been talking to you so openly because you've talked before.
Yes, I stand in this spot all the time. You've been running around all week without your shirt on, sir. Telling people about being a star or something. I don't really understand who those stars are. Of course, you've stopped by a few times. You certainly look better than the last time I saw you. Yeah, I can see.
Party eyes. Yes, of course.
I'm not surprised children have seen you running around with party eyes on, he thinks.
You know, like a cat in the dark, all big and wide-eyed. It certainly looks odd on a man.
The swiveling eyes of a loony drug addict. That is what she meant. You were Fuck yeah. You should get some party eyes right now. Snap those sequins on you, boy. Oh, baby, that's not what you have to worry about. Worry about the important.
I didn't know I had to do that. I'm glad I could help you, sir. It's the type of book where there's a rich lady and she has to choose between the good man and the bad man. Or there could be a story about a poor lady getting a rich man. It's about man and lady business, sir. That's really not a proper romance story. That's more like everyday life. I guess, yes, people in books are always very interesting. It happens, but usually the guy gets rich in the process. Or those are unhappy books, for most of the pages. These are not very common. You can't have a choice between, well, maybe then it's fine. Maybe if the lady then decides not. I haven't read many of those. Maybe you should ask Mum. I'm sure she can help out. Maybe some about other books. Oh, kings and queens and generals of old, or artists and writers, or musicians, those kinds. I think that's why people read them, to find the secrets of their fame. I don't know about that, but I imagine life is great when you're famous.
Annette's expression remains ever so helpful, but she doesn't say anything.
Okay.
Advanced race theory. Everything is calm in the eye of the race storm. Your mind is lucid and The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Rows and rows of Heimdall men blur your vision. You make out some titles. Man from Heimdall and the Mammoth Riders. Man from Heimdall, Return to Heimdall. And the solipsistic Man from Heimdall and the Heimdall Man, maybe 100. Man from Heimdall, those snow crabs are worse than they sound. Not even close. Man from Heimdall in hell. Man from Heimdall and the forest of slaves. Man from a twinge at the back of your head makes you flinch. Your eyes start. Your hand reaches toward a book with glossy cover art of the very muscular man. She's laughing at him, belittling him. Between the throne and the Heimdall man lies a bonfire, casting shadows on the wall. The shadow of the woman's headdress, especially those leering types who seem to wear nothing but an armored bikini. The display rack before you is burdened under piles of Man from Hyundal novels.
Oh, Man from Hyundal. A very popular series of adventure novels. Blood and violence, scantily clad women, epic narratives, all those mystical things he encounters. They're bound to... What does it matter? They're all the same. If you're a novice of the series, I'd recommend Hyundalaman.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages, an endless variety of source books, lore books. There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art. There's a box that says Wirral 3rd edition mega setting supplements module. Nonsense for anemic Beano-clads.
Wonderful board games, sir. The Viticulture Browbritter is a fun game of economic competition, but can get...
Who are you going to play board games with? Do you have friends or family? Are you actually friends? Or just colleagues thrown to...
Don't be so hard on yourself, sir. You just need to clean up a bit. And technically, friends are a bit like family. For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building game where you... Lousy auras there. No, role-playing games are popular among those types. You know, I've heard they turn people into occult enthusiasts. Welcome to Crime, Romance and Biographies of Famous People. My name is Plaisance. Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space.
A golden pendant hangs around the woman's neck in the shape of what looks like a tiny fish head trapped in amber.
Sir, don't be ridiculous. I certainly will not give you money. I would be one has to earn one's success.
What is this insolence? She misunderstood.
Now, hey there. Sounds like someone isn't taking responsibility. Tribute? Power? These are not the traditions. Oh, yes. Helps to have an anchor in these times. I am the proudest owner of our little shop of...
She has fine-tuned her voice to find the most welcoming approach for attracting new customers. It does...
Cursed? Who said that? Annette? I will have a word with her. This place is not cursed.
Doesn't feel like it's thriving. Feels...
Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me. Wonderful. Did you talk to her? Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled...
Her opinion of her daughter depends on how well she lured you into the store.
Come now, it's not personal. It's about proper sales practices and market research. I expect an answer. My precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette. You must be kidding. There's nothing like that happening. Good sir. What does a young child do with money anyway? No, I save it for her as a fund. She's securing...
Slap the cuffs on her.
Oh, of course, officer. Good work. Are we done with the joke?
Yes, we've had quite enough fun here. Right.
Mind your own business, sir. In our society, people don't get to tell each other how to raise their children. It's none of God. I've told her not to do that. It's disgusting. And I told you to mind your own business.
This economy is a mysterious force, like cosmic weather.
She can, if she has enough willpower.
Come on, ma'am. It's obvious she can't do anything about it. You are placing an unnecessary burden on a young child.
She stands stiff, and this is a person coming to terms with a new reality.
Oh no. Hold on. I need to invite her inside and apologise. She must... There. I don't know what to say to you. My husband, he tries to teach me business lessons. I have what my mother called...
It sounds like both the husband and the mother treat her the way she treats Annette.
Oh. Well, my mother was horrible, of course. Absolutely
My husband is completely different, of course.
Yes. My husband is a successful entrepreneur east of the river. If only he were more involved in the business we're running up here. No matter. He made the initial investment. Since then, he's been what you might call... She's been too busy helping me here. So she studied at home. I assure you, I of all people understand the importance of education. Yes, I'm afraid so. A real treat she is. It would be nice if she had... No, we could... Exactly.
The woman looks aloof, her features much softer.
Goodness, you were already doing good, browsing the shelves. Why'd you stop? Don't you feel compelled? Go. Everything is on the shelves. Take a look yourself.
She's attempting to mentally direct you to... She smiles. It's clear you like the hard stuff, Brota. Lower intestine? The term is metabolic and circulatory fascism, Brota. Many things, but it's mostly about trusting your gut. Who does your gut tell you? Yes, them. Women. Women. Men of war. You don't like them. They're insane. That's what fascism boils down to. The rest is also important. But the main, you're going to keep your views, right? Keep your views, Brota. There's a slow, painful growl. It is one of betrayal.
Promising race pupil returns. And look, babe, the rich man has humiliated and emasculated this couple.
Rich man really fucked him over, Jean.
His rage is already played out on the stage of history as the grotesque tragedy of revolution. Impotent class warrior, I take pity on you. You clearly want to enter the hall. Very well. You may enter the door once. Our race conversation.
Finally. Let's go.
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers.
It's unfortunate for the union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
Let's see what's inside, he thinks. The drawer opens smoothly. Inside is a well-organized hundreds of documents containing logistical data and the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would. It appears to be a to-do list written in large, uneven capitals. Remember, Leo, Everard's shoes, special whirling borscht. All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself.
Everard Clare, probably. The head of the Debarders Union. One of his aides must have left.
What is so special about this borscht? Remember, Leo, Everard's shoes, special whirling borscht, water. All items on the list have been crossed out. The drawer slides shut. Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here. This is your cloak. You can feel it.
Yes, it does bear the RCM insignia. And we are the only detectives in Martinet. The service cloak issued to you by your station?
As your fingers touch the tarpaulin, it almost feels like the I will shield you from the elements and the front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesel because white antlers are one of the symbols of communism. They represent a shameful way to treat a former king, even one as underwhelming as. To your disappointment, there aren't any full. After rifling the pages with the magazine is divided into several sections. International developments. Kunst, unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up. You skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red and white. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Cape Side apartments. One of the editorials proclaims that the more the sounds like their bodies just haven't been crushed. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of content. It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that as you leaf through this section, you come across the main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top. The actual article is surprisingly light on detail. You think you're settled. Instead, you find where to even start. For one, there's the crass. Oddly enough, this article has 2 bylines, and that precisely is what's at the end of the day. It's the destruction. Sure, this flimsy magazine is. That's because you haven't been reading critically. But don't.
Oh, come on. Can this article read your mind? A certain kind of young man reads 1 or 2 books and suddenly. If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. Numerous empty wine bottles glisten in the rain. Well, they went through 6 bottles of potent pills.
Well, yes, I think we can say with relative confidence that it was you. It really, really doesn't.
Rusting control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marsh. With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air. And with a surprisingly this crane was built with a purpose, which has now been fulfilled. Who can say? Only
I can't see how that was worth the ruckus, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
Before you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
You do? Because I don't. There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one? It's a cargo container, detective, just like all the others. We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to...
No reply. You attempt to turn the handle. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement. Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric?
Because what wasn't an option? Now is not the time to get philosophical, detective. You can...
Container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, used to be Wild Pines. Everard, he looks after every...
The look in his deep blue eyes is as sincere as you've ever seen.
I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs. I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folk. Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister. Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them.
Everything is so pretty and red. The old man whistles and hums.
Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scab. We're on a strike. The whole union is.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everard is in his office, but Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business. Him and his boys stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much.
Don't go all bad cop on this simple...
Sure. Bye-bye now.